Tragic.
Calling them domestic terrorists without any evidence of that.
Sir, ma'am, I did not call him a domestic terrorist. I said it appeared to be an incident of.
Okay, bitch, well, if we're just saying stuff, I think your injector is committing an instance of domestic terrorism by pumping all that bullshit into that lumpy ass face of yours that he knows we're gonna have to all look at later, but you don't see me justifying violence against him, do you? Would y'all believe this was not the most pathetic and embarrassing part of this hearing for her? No. I believe the worst part was when a member of her own party, Tom Tillis, sat there and read her like a fucking book. Shocker. And she sat there quiet as a fucking church mouse, just taking it. He was yelling at her. Like, he called her lazy. He called her corrupt. He called her a poor leader. He said she had poor decision-making skills. He called her a bad farmer. He mocked this part of her memoir that she wrote a couple years ago where she openly admits to killing her family dog who was over a year old because it was misbehaving and doing the same thing to a goat on her farm. Again, behavioral issue. And he specifically made fun of the fact that she wrote that so she could turn it into a whole metaphor about how she's had to make hard choices, because at the time that she published that book, she was gunning to be Donald Trump's pick for vice president. And the entire time that he is yelling at this woman who is a current cabinet secretary, former governor, former colleague of his in Congress, she is sitting there wordlessly taking it. So I have to ask Kristi Noem, and I have to ask every other Republican woman along with her, why do y'all like being shat on like this? When are you going to look at the way you're treated by the leadership in your own party and realize that you are a pawn in their fucking scheme? Because you know what? Tom Tillis is actually right. She did write that humiliating ass book as a public plea to get Donald Trump to pick her as vice president. And what actually happened? He picked a man. He picked a man that's 13 years younger than you with 16 years less experience in public office than you. With ease, he picked a half-term senator who is best known for wearing eyeliner and fucking couches over you, who for every evil ass bone in that botched fucking plastic surgery body of yours are one of the most qualified women in Republican politics, if not the most qualified. And then in what I'm sure he billed to you as the consolation prize, he put you in charge of what has now become one of the most unpopular parts of his presidential agenda. Congratulations, bitch. You have multiple people's blood on your hands, and you have exposed yourself as being a heartless fucking fool in front of the entire country. And Donald Trump sent you in there to get yelled at by a man who ranks lower than you and say not a goddamn word while he does it. I can really only hope that there was some small part of Kristi Noem in that moment that thought to herself, wow, me and every single other woman in this party have been debasing ourselves for decades for a cause that the men will never let us be the face of. But frankly, my hopes are low. She very clearly seems to struggle with both her reflection in the mirror and a reflection of her own character.